It's Karen. I just wanted to be able to express one thing. There's a video that I'm reacting to. It's entitled Karen Ruined Her Own Life. And this is going too far. Like, when the past few years, I think just around the time of COVID, people were really angry at what was going on, and this whole Karen meme started. At first, it was, I think, in response to George Floyd, because a woman named Karen called the cops. And and there's been a counter documentary that was made towards it. Sometimes I have one heck of a time talking because I don't have to explain myself for the atrocious way different human beings have treated one another, different races have treated one another throughout history. My name doesn't need to be accountable for that. So my statement to this video place called Supermission, I find using the name Karen, using this name towards entitled women is derogatory in itself, dehumanizing. I'd be a billionaire that every person who ever slandered my first name, I never acted like this in my entire life. Using someone's first name and calling them racist is an act of racism in itself. If all elitist people could be arrested for being rude and entitled, we would not even have an economy. That's my statement back. It doesn't bother me, it doesn't upset me anymore, but when I see comments like that, that is derogatory towards any woman named Karen. Yeah. I love my mom. I love my parents very much, and they gave me this name. It is short for Catherine, and it means pure light. I found that out many years ago. So anyway, I had good parents, and ever since I was young, even on my own, I would go up to people and talk to them, and I would dance with them. And there were Jamaican people. They had a Jamaican fest on Toronto Island, and I was a little kid. I was 5 years old, and I was dancing with these people. And kids don't know racism. They're loving beings. That's why they need to be protected. And adults, if they're conditioned as children not to be racist, they don't end up being that way. I've been exposed to multiculturalism ever since I was a kid. And I just always looked at people as human beings. I never really looked at them in a divisional way. And I come from a working class background. I've had exposure to very beautiful things in my life, but I've worked hard to be able to get anything in my life. So, wow, yeah, I get tired of this. And at one point, that affected me because people were not buying my art. They're not listening to my music. And maybe because they didn't think my music was any good. And basically, I didn't ruin myself. I think society has ruined my name. And I'm making a living off of my name. My name is I don't see it as my brand. My name is my God given name by my parents. And I get annoyed. I don't get upset as much as I did before because it got so carried away. I saw so much ignorance and so much prejudice. It's almost like I'm not calling it the left, I'm calling this social engineers. The social engineers were doing this to be able to take the attention off of what globalism was doing. That's either mass immigration and all the atrocities that the elites have done to humanity. You couldn't speak out. You were censored. And so I don't think this Karen thing started. I think it was a false flag operation. It was part of it. And I gave social commentary, and I'm an artist. And an artist's role sometimes is to challenge society. So it's like when I was a little kid and I was bullied by other kids, and some of those kids got away with it. And I know how painful that is, to be able to feel like you're not worth anything. So yeah, the First Nations lady, I can't think of your name right now, but she said give yourself a hug. So I'm giving myself a hug because I know I'm a good person and I matter too. Yeah, and I'm involved with a lot of people. I've been involved in women's groups. I've been involved with the marginalized, the underrepresented, and I've also been involved working actively to advocate for people with disabilities too. So yeah, any of you media companies that are using this entitled Karen or Karen has ruined her life, they're trying to make a point about racism. Why can't they just put entitled woman or entitled person? Entitled person might work better. If you want to push pronouns on people and reverse racism is exactly what you're doing, then I would suggest that you come up with a better title, because I'm sick and tired of it. I put my stuff out, my art. I'm proud of my art. I'm also proud of any other medium that I've worked in. I'm proud of what I've done because I've had the same kind of ignorance put towards me. And I've worked really hard over my life to make something of myself. It's like scratched and clawed. And I had dignity. Human dignity is fundamental. And I've also had morals. And who's to judge? There's only one entity that is a supreme being that we call God. And God comes in different forms, as has throughout history. Is the only one that can really judge me. So I'm just, it's annoying. I had to make a comment because I have to defend myself as an adult and as a person, as my own integrity as a person. And also too, it's like, yeah, this is a different time, but trying to use that to harm people and their reputations, it's beyond sickening. So yeah, think about what you're stating when you're putting names with people, because using someone's name in a derogatory sense says something about you. That's really what it comes down to. So anyway, yeah, I thought I'd put it out there because, before it used to upset me a lot. And then I just got to a point. It's like people will say hateful things. There's trolls. And gosh. Yeah. I've went through truth and reconciliation talks. I've talked to other people and they come from different backgrounds, and I told them of my experience, and hasn't nothing to do with skin color, and doesn't have anything to do with privilege. It's social class and it's society itself. And I think part of society at present is actually has mental health issues. It's about power and control, as I talked about yesterday. Like, it's constant. So putting up this kind of defamation and slander towards my first name is not only insulting to the work that I do, it's ignorant. And I hope it gets changed. Yeah, I'm just fed up and had enough of this kind of stuff. And I'm glad I didn't become a really famous person of any kinds, because they have to deal with that kind of crap every day. And always hate comments, like to the point where they're comical even. I think there has to be one comedian out there that could take all this hate and turn it into a comedy piece of all the, I think some have, of all the negative and hateful and harmful comments, but then sometimes it goes too far where they're actually slandering the person so bad and defaming them that they're threatening their lives, and that's really bad. So anyway, yeah, I'm doing my thing, and I'm just trying to be a happy, simple person. I'm definitely not entitled, and even the painting behind me, I worked really hard. I worked for hours on that. It hasn't sold yet, so I'm keeping it. It's for my own enjoyment until it does sell. So anyway, I don't have to justify myself to anyone. I haven't treated anyone that way. And person that has tried to harm me, it's okay for me to defend myself. So, and when somebody is treating you really horribly, it is okay to ask to speak to a manager or whatever if they're using them representing themselves in a wrongful manner. So, but anyway, yeah, believe what you want on the internet. There's a lot of misrepresentation and there's a lot of lies, but yeah, we're all competing. I'd like to cooperate to try to make a living, but yeah, it's disgusting, really. And yeah, I think it's like there are a lot of people, they act entitled, but they're really not entitled. They used to call it being a snob, Anyway, I don't need to talk about this anymore. Go on. I've got better things to do. Okay, have a good day. Thanks. Bye.